Yeah, welcome everybody to the press conference, DTM Nürburgring Race 2. We have our three winning drivers here. Sheldon van der Linde, Schubert Motorsport BMW, first victory of the season for our 2022 DTM champion. We have in second place Maro Engel for Mercedes-AMG Team Winward, and third place goes to Marco Wittmann, also Schubert Motorsport BMW. Congrats to all of you three. So we saw a really great race today. Sheldon, first victory of the season. So how did you experience that very exciting race today?
Yeah, honestly, I think it was very entertaining for the fans, which I think is one of the most important things. That's why they come and watch these races. But yeah, for myself, from P9, I never really expected to drive even on the podium, to be honest. But I had a really good start. Went around the outside. I was behind my brother, actually, and I thought, whatever you do now, don't touch him. Don't, he's fighting for the championship. You don't want to really have contact or anything. And then there was a gap on the left, on the outside of turn one, and I broke super late, went for it, went around the outside, and then came out in fourth. And then from there on, car was really good. Unfortunately, Marco got pushed wide by Ricardo, and that set me up for the move on Marco. And then, yeah, everything else was just a result of that. But yeah, this feels really special. I mean, we haven't won in 1 year. We've come close a few times this year. So yeah, I always say the longer you wait, the better the next one feels. And yeah, this one came at the right time.
You had a really hard battle with Maro in the opening stages of the race. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Maro defended really good his position.
Yeah, I think it was hard as always with Maro. I think we always battle hard, but I think it was on the limit, but fair. I think he defended well. Obviously, he had a lot more to lose in that position than me. So I was obviously trying to win the race. He's also got the championship to worry about. And I knew that, so I took my chances, but it wasn't enough. And then, yeah, obviously did the pit stop, tried to do the undercut, but he had I don't know if he had a quick stop or something, but you got out quite far ahead of me, and yeah, I think I would have struggled to catch him, to be fair. So obviously not the way I want to win with what happened in turn one. I'm sure that wasn't on purpose, but yeah.
It's unfortunate. For that incident which happened between Rene and Maro in turn one, you had the best seat in the house, so the best view on that incident. How did you see that?
To be honest, I'm focusing on the braking zone. I just saw Rene coming out the box, and the next thing I saw Maro turned around, so I guess he understeered out. It was very slippery on the outlap for me on the new tire, so I can imagine that's what happened, but I have no clue.
And then coming to the end of the race, so was everything smooth from that moment on when you took the lead, or had you any issues?
Honestly, the car was good, but I had quite a lot of tire deg. That's something we struggle with a bit more on our car. So I had to really take care of the rear tire, which I struggled with in the last 10 laps. But yeah, and generally I felt the strongest at the start. I could really make my positions at the beginning, and then from there on, I think the hard work was done, and then yeah.
Looking on the times evolving from the BMW camp over the weekend, so there wouldn't be many people who bet a big amount of money after Friday on BMW. So what did you improve over the weekend, or what did change?
To be honest, yesterday we had an issue on the brakes on my car, so I couldn't do a proper lap. And this morning, I unfortunately had an ABS failure in the last corner, so I went off on a lap that was looking very good. So yeah, at least on my side, I can't speak for Marco Rene, but at least on my side, the potential was there the whole weekend. We were looking really good, but it was just about putting it together, which we did in the race now, and that feels very nice, because if you go away from a weekend like this with a good feeling and don't score anything for it, then it's obviously not ideal.
Okay, thank you, Sheldon. Moving over to Maro. Maro, I think many fans outside of the grandstand are very sorry for you for what happened after the pit stop. So, can you tell us a little bit about that situation?
To be honest, I don't think there's too much to say. I mean, I think the pictures speak for themselves. you know, we had a really good race, strong battle with Sheldon. Was I think, like you said, really hard but fair, and really good racing. Hopefully, very entertaining. After the pit stop, it was looking quite good. I think we had quite a good gap, and then obviously the incident happened, and we can't turn the clock back, so there's no point looking back. We look forward. I think we can be happy with P2. It's a strong result, another podium, so you know, really happy about that. The team gave me a great car, great pit stop, so yeah, happy with the weekend.
So during that incident, the time lost was too much to catch Sheldon at the end, or?
No, I mean, with the pace they had, especially also the straight line advantage, there was never really going to be an opportunity, probably nor to catch nor to overtake. So I knew immediately that that the win was probably lost, bar any issue for Sheldon. So from there on, I still tried to push as hard as possible because Marco was obviously very quick behind, to make sure I keep the gap. Because I also didn't know if the car would still, you know, stay intact. It was quite a hard hit. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
In the opening laps of the race, there were the other drivers all over you. It seems so. It was a really exciting start of the race. You seem to be very committed and defended very hard. So how were these opening laps for you?
Yeah, we haven't won in a while. Mercedes-AMG hasn't won in a while, so for sure we wanted this win today. But like I said, I think it was good racing, hard racing, and I think that's exactly what the fans want to see. And yeah, I'll go back and watch the replay, and hopefully it looked as good from the outside as it felt in the car.
Okay, then next stop is Sachsenring, a track which wasn't too bad for Mercedes-AMG in the past. So next chance for you to finally reclaim that first victory of the season. Thank you, Mauro. Moving on to Marco. Marco, second podium of the season after your win at Zandvoort in June. So there was a really wild race today, and yeah, you are quite always in the middle of what's happening. So tell us a little bit about your race.
Yeah, it was actually a good race with a lot of fights already at the beginning. Obviously, I had a good start. I were already in P2. Unfortunately, Ricardo gave me a push on the rear left where I had to go wide in turn 3, which at the end, yeah, was costing me two positions. In hindsight, something which I would like that the race director looks a bit closer to these scenarios. But anyway, at the end, we had to fight quite hard today for the podium, especially after the pit stop with the cold tires. I was quite in the mix with a lot of cars around me. I had to fight quite hard. But all in all, I'm very happy, to be honest. I mean, I didn't, especially in the first stint, I did not really have the balance in the car. I had quite a lot of understeer. So I could not really go the pace of Sheldon and Mauro especially. In the second stint it was definitely better and especially more consistent. But yeah, therefore I'm very happy with the podium today. Also yesterday was a good race with P6, so all in all a fairly good weekend for us.
Okay, thank you, Marco. Do we have questions here from the floor?
Congrats to you guys. A question for Mauro. Okay, next try. Yeah, congrats to you guys. Question for Mauro. Was talking to René Rast before. He said he was on cold tires out of the pits and expected you to leave a bit more space. What do you think about that? Does he have a point, or what's your point?
I think there was plenty of space on the inside if he would have hit the apex. I mean, what do you want me to say? Of course he was on cold tires. We were all on cold tires when we left the pits. But I think he just missed his braking, understeered into me, and that was it.
But you didn't expect anything like that, like him being there and coming so close to your car and crashing you?
No.
Was your car damaged after the incident? Did you feel anything, or was it okay?
No, really lucky that there was no damage. Steering was still straight and tire pressures were still there. So I think that was the lucky part today for sure.
how did you experience the start? From the outside, it looked like it took a long time till the red lights were off.
No, I think I went somewhere in the middle of the acceleration zone, and pretty quickly the lights came off. The only thing is, obviously, from the outside, it always looks like this because it feels like when you exit the last corner until you're at the lights, it feels like forever when you're going slowly at whatever we were doing, 70, 80, somewhere around there. On the pictures and also in the car, it feels a long time until you get to this second gantry. Obviously, in other series, we use the first gantry sometimes, so it just looks like it's taking a long time.
How do you see the situation now in the championship? Because you made very, very good points this weekend.
I see the situation that there's 3 rounds remaining, that probably 10 to 12 drivers could still win the championship. So let's keep going round by round, and it's a tough championship, and for sure you need to take every point. Today we lost some. Some other days maybe we gained some. We tried to focus on what we can control, and I think we did a good weekend this weekend, and that'll be our focus at Sachsenring.
Yeah, question for Sheldon. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about your emotions, because after the qualifying, I think you were pretty down also from what you posted on Instagram, and now you're here as the winner. You had a difficult weekend by now, a difficult season.
Yeah, I mean, it started already yesterday morning, to be honest, so it was a double hit in qualifying this morning for me, and that, when you're really on one of the only cars on slicks and you feel like you've done a good lap and that it would be enough, and then something like this happens in the last corner, it's like you can't even write a movie about it. So yeah, I was obviously very, very, very pissed off, and I think that's part of motorsport. That's part of I think if you don't care, then you're not passionate enough about the sport. So I think that's also what makes this win so emotional for me today, is because this morning I was really down, and something like this can put you on cloud 9 again, which was definitely needed for me.
Any more questions from the floor? No? Then thank you, everybody, and see you all in 3 weeks at Sachsenring. Thank you.